Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome to this new tutorial where we are going to learn how to use diagrams.net. Now, diagrams.net helps you to create diagrams, and it's a free to use online platform, but you can also download it and use it offline. So to go to diagrams.net, you simply type drawio.com, and I'll be leaving that link in the description of this video, and it will bring you to this site. So on this site, you notice that you can draw diagrams just like this one, flowcharts just like they are. So it's a powerful tool to collaborate with others in creating diagrams. So once you get to this page, that is drawio.com, you notice you can click on download if you want to use it offline, but we are just going to use it online. So you click on start. So the first thing it will decide is that you will have to select where you want to save your diagram. You can save your diagram either on Google Drive, OneDrive, on your device, GitHub, or any other. So you select where you want to store your diagram or to save your diagram. And once you select, it brings you to this homepage. So this is the homepage for diagrams.net. So on the top here, we have the normal tabs here for saving, for editing, and you notice these tabs below here are inactive because we don't have items added here yet. So how now do you draw diagrams using diagrams.net? On the left hand side here, you notice we have several items. Let me close this one first. So this is how it basically looks like. You notice we have general, miscellaneous, advanced, basic, arrows, flowchart, entity, relation, and UML. And you can even see more shapes here. So to use shapes, you can search at the top here, or if you know where the category of that shape is, maybe it's an arrow, you can come down to arrows and open that so that you can see we have all the arrows here. Maybe you want the basic shape, you can open basic, and you notice we have the basic shapes here. You can open the miscellaneous here. You notice we now have the miscellaneous here. So that's how you can use this part. And in case you want to look for a specific shape, you can come at the top here and type it. For instance, let me type heart. So if I type heart there and search, you notice the shape for the hearts are here. So I can now use any. How do we use diagrams.net to now draw diagrams? So to draw diagrams, you simply come to the part that I've shown you on the left hand side and you select the shape that you want. For instance, I want to draw the first shape as a rectangle. So you come to where the rectangle is and you just click once. And you notice the rectangle is added to your canvas. You can drag it just by clicking and dragging to place it where you want it to be. You can also resize it by dragging the edges to be the size that you want. And then you can also come to the corner here. You can now rotate it to be in the angle that you want it to be. So that's one way to add shapes to your Canva. The next way to add shapes, you can double click. If you double click on the Canva, you notice the shapes come and then you select the shape that you want. You notice now maybe I want this shape. I just select that. But if you want to add the shape on a very specific part of the Canva, you simply drag and drop. For instance, I want to drag this shape of the actor specifically to a certain part of this Canva. I'm going to hold, drag. You notice it's still held on my cursor. Then I drop it where I want. Maybe I want to drop it there. Just drop and you notice our actor has been added there. I can drag to resize. So those are the three ways to add the shapes. How now do you add relationships? You simply come, if you click on one of the icons, you notice we have arrows on all directions, here, 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 all sides. So if now I want to link these two, maybe I want to link this circle and the rectangle, I come to this arrow and click on that. You now notice after clicking on that, we have an arrow pointing to this side. I can do the same for this one. I can click on that and then click on that once, and I can now drag that. So that's how you add the relationships. You can also drag the sides so that it can get to the place you want it to be. Maybe I don't want this to be straight, so I'll drag it slightly to the top there. So that's how it will look like. So you can also change the colors of the shapes. You notice here we have selected the circle, on the left hand side you can notice we have the style. So if I select this third one, you notice we have that colored. I can select the first one also, then I can select the green one there. I can also decide to add different edges here for the line. So this is the fill. I can add a fill gradient. So let me click on fill gradient. Then I can select the colors. I want this one to be red. So I'll click on red there and click on apply. So you now notice it has a red and gray gradient. So for the line, the outer line, I can change that here. So I want the dotted style. I can click on that. Then for the thickness, I want it to be 5. I can click on 5 and that is it. So you now notice how it looks like. So basically that is how you can change the shapes, the shape style. I can also change the color for that outline. I want it to be green and I click on apply. So you notice now how our rectangle here has been manipulated. So we can also click on style so that we can use these others. You notice we have the shape, we have different connectors here, we can have the shapes here, different colors and all this. So you notice we can select them directly instead of having to do everything manually. For instance, if I select the red one, you notice everything on the canvas turns red. If I select the brown one, you notice how it looks there. So that's how you add that. So if you want to change the thickness of the arrows added here, you simply click on the specific arrow or pointer that you want to change. Like I've selected on this one. You come to the properties on this side. You can then increase the size. You notice now I'm just making the size to be bigger. You can also change their colors. I want that to be maybe a red arrow, then click on apply. So you notice now our arrow here has changed the color. If you want to add text, you come to the top here and then click on insert. You can either double click here to add text. You can double click on the specific shape where you want to add text. For instance, I want to add text on this rectangle. I double click and then I can just type the text there. Let me type there start. And then now I can change the features of that text on the right hand side. I can make it bigger. I can change the colors and all that on this side. So that is how you can add text here. Finally, if you click on the shapes here, on this side, this is where you get the properties. You can make those shapes to be either rounded or grass or sketch or shadow. For instance, I want to make it rounded. If I click on rounded, you notice how it looks. Then I can drag this arrow to make it more rounded like that. And then I can also decide on either to make it a sketch this way. I can either make it to have a shadow like that or even make it glass like that. So this is the part where you change all the settings of the shapes that you have added on your Canva. Now, if you're satisfied with your diagram, how now do you share or save it? You come to the top left corner, you click on File, and then you click on Export As, and you can export this diagram either as a PNG, JPEG, SVG, PDF, or all these others. So that is how you can export it. You can also export it as HTML and you can get a link. Then you can share that link with others who will be able to view it without necessarily having to edit. Now, if you're satisfied with your diagram and you feel that you fear you might interfere with one of the shapes later on, you can just ensure that you group everything. You can press Ctrl A to select everything, and then you can right click and then you click on group. Once you do that, you notice now you can drag everything as one item without dragging individuals. But still, even when it's grouped, you can decide to manipulate a specific item at once. You only click on that and then you just adjust it and place it where you want it to be. You can still do that this way. So you notice we have now manipulated that, but still it is grouped such that if you click on it, you can still drag the whole thing. I hope this has been helpful. That is how you use diagrams.net. Kindly like this video, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel.